Hello again, everyone. Zagatech is here in my WWE Raw review for Monday, June the 20th, 2016 from Phoenix, Arizona. The aftermath of Money in the Bank. A very epic and exciting Money in the Bank. And also the Battleground begins officially as they did announce the main event for that pay-per-view. Well, this main event is what we wanted, but wrong pay-per-view. It should have been SummerSlam. They need a badass main event now for SummerSlam. Anyway, we would kick things off with one of the men from Ohio that had an epic night last night. Dean Ambrose winning the WWE Heavyweight Championship, cashing in Money in the Bank, and becoming the new WWE Heavyweight Champion. Now, some people knew that in some way, shape, or form, there was going to be a Shield triple threat at some point for the championship involving all three of these guys, Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. It doesn't matter who's the champ or not. Some people thought the briefcase was wasted on Ambrose. That the only reason we're having a triple threat is because Ambrose cashed in Money in the Bank. And with the Money in the Bank wasted in one night, no one else gets to cash it for a whole year. Now, I get some people with that opinion. I get why some people may be a little bit upset at that, but guess what? Even when WWE does something right, you guys complain. They finally gave us what we wanted. Dean Ambrose is champion, an exciting way to end the pay-per-view, and also one other thing. Reigns lost last night clean. He lost clean last night to Rollins. That's one of the most biggest positives of all. That Cena didn't lose clean, but Reigns did lose clean. So, but again, like some people, there's a minority that thought the briefcase was wasted on Ambrose, that someone else should have the briefcase, because in their minds, there was a better way to set up the triple threat for the title with these three Shield guys, not having the briefcase be involved. Let the briefcase be for a guy that's actually going to use it and have a lot of weight to it. Like the teams. I understand that, but come on. It was an exciting fucking one. I know a lot of people, including guys I watch FAP reactions, were not too thrilled with the immediate cash-in. Some fans just are stubborn. They got what they wanted, yet they're still upset about it. Some wrestling fans are never satisfied. Anywho, Dean Ambrose came out in a celebratory mood. Happy that all the bullshit he went through, especially coming so close to the belt, and WWE finally being beaten in the fucking skull that he's the guy. Fuck Reigns. We aren't fucking buying it. And it took the fact that Ambrose's house shows were selling more tickets than the house shows with Reigns leading them. That's what I heard was a big call in determining in Ambrose winning. And the crowd chanting, "You deserve it." That was awesome, man. He's been through a lot. Shady booking and all this stuff, and coming so close. The fans cheering on him. It's like the Yes movement, kind of, again. It took a lot of fan reaction and, of course, fans buying tickets to see him wrestle more than fucking Reigns to finally smash WWE's head with a chair and let him finally say, "Ooh, the Reigns experiment's a failure. We ain't fucking buying it anymore." So he was in a celebratory mood. Joking around, but happy he's got the belt. Especially cashing in on Rollins. I wish he cashed in on Reigns, though. That's the thing I would have fixed. I don't mind Ambrose cashing in. I'm happy he cashed in. Should have cashed in on Reigns. But they want to protect Reigns. They want to protect the man who's faster than Rey Mysterio. More powerful than a Big Show. Able to bury careers on a single bound. The man who can't sell a bump if his life depended on it. Super Reigns, who right on cue would indeed show up to thunderous boos like usual, saying, "Dean, I don't mind. Congratulations to you." And I'll give Reigns credit for this. There was a chant of, "You can wrestle." And he's like, "All ye dudes," because Dean's like, Rollins is the guy. Reigns is the man. Reigns is the guy. Rollins is the man. That makes me the dude. And Reigns, when he heard that "you can wrestle" chant, he's like, "All you dudes chanting 'you can wrestle,' sit down and drink your beer." I'll give him kind of credit for a rebuttal. So then, as these two are going down, Reigns is like, "I don't mind. I'm happy you cashed in on Rollins. Should have been you, buddy. You should have been cashed in on." Then here comes the man that was cashed on, Rollins. The only reason why I don't like Rollins getting cashed in on is because of the fact he finally won a championship back. They kind of spoiled this moment. That's why it should have been Reigns getting cashed in on. Don't tease a Rollins win just for him to get cashed in on later. But he was a very fiery mood. And he's like, "Man, I want another shot at you, Dean. I wasn't ready. You attacked me from behind. Like all of my TV winners. I did it once, but still. I cashed in a woman's face during his match against Brock Lesnar last year at WrestleMania. But you did it from behind." And then Shane came out and said, "Well, guys, to find out who's going to face Dean at the Battleground, we're going to have ourselves a one-on-one match. A rematch from last night's pay-per-view. Reigns Rollins 2. So let's see who would face off against Ambrose later on. But now, on the two men who were in that Money to Make ladder match, who were hooting for the batter, hooting for the wuss. Who were weary, but they still wrestled anyway. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think the feud's going to continue for a long time. I don't mind it because they're awesome together. They had great chemistry. Even during a short, little fun match and the pain they took, especially Mr. Owens after taking that Michinoku driver through the ladder last night, which was probably one of the sickest spots of the night, in my opinion, of last night's APV. These two had a fun match as usual. Sami Zayn created his high-flying arsenal, and Owens still looking a freaking badass. Even if both these guys didn't win the Money to Make briefcase, they still have a lot of things to do, especially more feuding. They had that one-on-one match at Payback. I think they needed a definitive match at either Battleground or SummerSlam. But they should save this for SummerSlam. If they're not going to save a certain other match for SummerSlam, they got to save this one for SummerSlam. They're fucking smart. So, despite great efforts from Owens, even at one point, setting up the cannonball, even Frog Splash, I think he missed it. Going for the upper power bomb. Sami countered it in a pinfall. 1-2-3 victory for Sami Zayn. But Owens was not happy. He beat down Sami after the matchup, brawling all the way to the back and having security at the force to break him up. That's why I think this feud's going to continue on. They keep getting involved in each other's business. Whether it's them being distracted by the hatred of each other. It's like the thing. They're distracted by their hatred for each other to focus on their future goals. Hello, they're both arguing over the IC Championship, and their hatred for each other blocked either one of them from winning the IC Championship in the Fatal 4-Way back at Extreme Rules. And same thing last night. Their hatred for each other blocked them from being the Mr. Money to Make briefcase holder. So there you go. Now, I said this on my Attack Sports today about who's going to be the next SmackDown former GM to make an appearance. With a little gag going about who's going to be the new GM for SmackDown. The draft is, of course, now given a date. July 19th on the first live SmackDown Tuesdays. I mentioned former GMs like Vicky Guerrero or Paul Heyman. Well, I forgot one. Mr. Bella himself. Yeah, he buried Brie Bella and Nikki Bella's mom recently. Of course, I'm referring to John Laurinaitis, the former general manager of the Raw and SmackDown, and the former vice president of talent relations, People Power. I do a decent Laurinaitis. Or as, of course, a lot of people have nicknamed him, including Angela and Cass, who would come out after Shane kicked out John Laurinaitis, John Laryngitis. And after that kick out from Shane, here comes Angela and Cass, as I mentioned. As he, well, they being Angela and Cass will be taking on the Vaughn Villains. These two, of course, in the Fatal 4-Way last night in a fun one. The boxes aside, it was still a fun Fatal 4-Way. These two have seen him wrestle numerous times, twice at NXT house shows. The one in Cleveland last year. And it was interesting, they were in the finals last year, too. And they had all the setup there in town for when they were in the finals against Golden State. And Cavs didn't win, but they finally won this time, as we all know from last night. So these two had fun matches in the past, and this match was short but okay. Volver is isolating Enzo early. They're trying to hurt him again, maybe like they did a couple weeks ago when there was a no contest after they attempted to do what they did inadvertently, accidentally, more purposeful at Payback, the thing that caused a concussion. But then the isolation. Enzo came flying back with some big moves on both guys, taking them out so we can get the freeway open. The opportunity open from the big tag in, the big cats. Big moves, and of course the big boot leading up to the rocket launcher with the new name, Bada Boom Shakalaka. That's what they're calling the rocket launcher now. The Bada Boom Shakalaka. I make still call it rocket launcher. Let's get interested in calling it the Bada Boom Shakalaka. So there you go. Even though none of these two guys, these two teams were victorious at the pay-per-view, they may still go for that championship one day, especially against the Cavs. Speaking of a guy who did end up winning at Money in the Bank was AJ Styles. The match was epic between him and Cena. It lived up to the expectations. Fun, exciting matchup. But the ending, in the majority here, that was not happy that AJ got over Cena, but dirty. Didn't get over him clean. You know what I mean? If Daniel Bryan can get over Cena clean, Kevin Owens can get over Cena clean, why couldn't they let AJ get over Cena clean? Come on. So AJ came out saying that, you know, even he felt that the ending was spoiled by the interference from Gallows and Anderson, but it was half-hearted according to Cena. Because Gallows and Anderson did try to come out to give their own little apologies to AJ and also to Cena. But Cena's like, you have no balls and you have no word. Because you signed the contract that prohibited the club from being involved, but they still got involved. So AJ's like, how about you face one of us tonight? Minus me. Gallows or Anderson. And it'll be Anderson. One-on-one. And I'm going to keep my word. Well, that didn't last long, did it? When Cena was looking strong against Anderson, doing the big moves, including going to see 5-knuckle shuffle, Cena did try to focus on Anderson, but he kept looking at the entrance ramp, making sure that the club wasn't going to get involved. And like I said, they did. After the 5-knuckle shuffle and setting up for the AA, right on cue, here comes Styles and Gallows. The match may set up for something bigger. I thought maybe we'd see like a comeback or something, or someone to help Cena out, but not exactly. We could have like a 6-man tag in Battleground between these three guys. That's what could happen. Like these 6 guys can have like Cena and like maybe the Usos or some, or someone better than the Usos can team up with Cena to take on the club and have a Cena AJ match be safe for SummerSlam. That's what could go down. So that's what I think they should do. Have a 6-man tag in Battleground, Cena and 2 guys against the club, and then, you know, have Cena and AJ second match at SummerSlam. And have it with a stipulation. Not just the banning of Gallows and Anderson. Like no DQ or something. Don't make it a lumberjack match or something. So there you go. See what happens there. Now, we had a little backstage segment involving Becky Lynch and Natalya. Natalya's heel. And she attacked Becky Lynch after their loss last night against Dana Brooke and Charlotte. At least it ends the long and dragging and ever-promising feud that didn't live up to expectations of Natalya and Charlotte. Their feud is over. Now Natalya's feuding with Becky. So at least it'll give them something to do. And hopefully WWE doesn't fuck anything up in the Divas division like the women's division like they already have in the last 2 months. Had a little rant about it on my review last night of Money in the Bank, which is on this channel. So on to our next matchup. Baron Corbin finally ends. Speaking of feuds coming to an end finally. Apparently, Baron Corbin ends his feud with Ziggler last night after facing off with them at Money in the Bank pay-per-view and not the pre-show. He took on Zack Ryder and squashed him. Even if Zack had some offense early, including near the Pawlowski Brew, he eventually got set up for the end of days in a 1-2-3 victory for Baron Corbin. What's next for him? Who knows? So it was an okay little squasher with Baron Corbin. Now, speaking of Charlotte, on to our next matchup, the Women's Championship match between Charlotte and Paige. Stemming from Paige beating Charlotte, some would say a pointless victory against Charlotte last week on Raw, with Dana Brooke inadvertently costing Charlotte the match. The biggest question was, would Paige be involved? I thought maybe it should be like taken out storyline-wise to set up the fact that she apparently, reportedly got arrested last night for domestic violence against Del Rio. We had the Jerry Lawler thing, and now we had this. Maybe I even heard it was shot. It was like a little ploy to set up a plot for Total Divas, but nothing's out about it yet, as I know of. But the match itself, despite all the shady booking they've been doing the Divas women's division, you had a little rant about it, like I mentioned, and all that great grace and all that great work they had promoting the Divas division, women's division, naming women's division again, getting rid of the Divas Championship belt, and all the great work they did leading towards the Triple Threat at Mania. All that great work's gone down the fucking drain the last 2 months with the booking. Treating these women, these great women who do not deserve to be bathroom break matches. We have great women who can finally wrestle. And they don't deserve to be bathroom break matches. The old Diva Guard deserve to be that bathroom match. Because these women can wrestle. And for this match, even with Dana Brooke's involvement, it was still a decent little fun matchup between Paige and Charlotte. You know, it was very decently okay. Leading up to the interference from Dana Brooke after she put Paige's foot on the rope. I think they kind of botched that. They botched that move. And Dana got tossed out. Even with Dana tossing out after her involvement, Charlotte did capitalize on that with a natural selection like she did to Natalya after the inadvertent distraction last night. And the 1-2-3 victory for Charlotte retaining the championship. And I said to myself, something's going to happen during this match. And that's exactly what happened. Finally, after being off Raw for a while, Sasha Banks finally returned and attacked Charlotte. Now, I've been saying this for about a year. Sasha Charlotte needs to happen. One-on-one. We had them in the Triple Threat at Mania, but now they need to face off one-on-one. And it's headed towards SummerSlam. Don't fucking race it at Battleground. Like another match that should have been saved for SummerSlam, which I'll get to in a few moments. If you want to make up for all the bad shit you've been doing to the women's revolution and the women's wrestling, make this match worth it. Put all your fucking effort. This is your last chance to do right. And make this happen. And do it right between Sasha and Charlotte. They fucking deserve the spotlight. They deserve the time and the effort for this match. Because like Enzo and Kaz involvement, I've seen Charlotte and Sasha wrestle each other at the house show in Cleveland last year. And it was an amazing women's match live. They need to bring it to SummerSlam. And they fucked this up. All hope for a women's revolution on the main roster. All hope is fucking gone. And WWE screws us up. Like they have done the last 2 months. After all that great work. So Sasha came in and attacked both Dana and Charlotte. With Paige making the save. We could have ourselves like a tag team match. But we can have 2 women's tag team matches. 2 pay-per-views in a row. We had Natty and Becky against Charlotte and Dana. Hopefully Natty and Becky get a pay-per-view match. So we'll see what happens there. At least giving other women something to do. If they can't feel Charlotte, give them something to do that's not jealousy. You know, a turn that happened with Natalya. So hopefully that pays out. And so will the build-up for Sasha and Charlotte. I said it last night that it's going to feel a bit sweet because of all the bad booking they've been doing to the women's division since Mania. So, if they do it right, like they did at Mania, this should be fucking epic. So, they better do it right. Not just do it for them. Do it for the fans. Not just for the fans. Do it for Sasha and Charlotte. Give them the time. Give them the effort. And give them the match that they and we deserve. And SummerSlam, bitches. So there you go. Now, we had a return of sorts tonight. The Wyatt family. They've been out for a bit since Bray Wyatt's untimely injury in April. It looked like he was going to feud with Reigns for a little bit. But it also become a face team, too. And I think they're kind of off. And they came out tonight and they had a little promo. And, you know, welcome back chants for Bray. You know, the entire family's been off screen because of his injury. Still no Harper. Harper's been injured too. It was just Strowman and Warren tonight. And why it's like, you miss me. They're kind of playing faces now. Like, we've been locked up and punished, but now we're back. And I was like thinking to myself, one, we haven't seen New Day in a bit. Tonight, we haven't seen them all night. You know, after they retained their WWE World Tag Team Championships in a fun Fatal 4-Way last night. And then I was also thinking to myself, what if it was New Day coming out to feud Wyatt? It's interesting. They do need new challengers. And they did come out. New Day did come out to challenge, verbally challenge, should I say, the Wyatt family. Yeah. So, Xavier came out with Raw New Day. They even made like a reference to a rap song, GT Genesis. You're talking way too long. You need to cut it. I know that because I'm a disc jockey. Hence my DJ shirt. Because I go to a club called Club 54, and there was a lot of African Americans who work at Chrysler who come down and they love that gangster stuff, and they like that song, Cut It. They request it to me a lot. And that's like one of the best songs I like to dance to, or at least bob their heads to. You're talking way too long. You need to cut it. And then a little fun promo. And Xavier didn't do his WWE whatever champ. Like, when they were giving Xavier the cue to do the WWE, the crowd did it because Xavier was too distracted. And before they did the, but why? Because New Day falls. Yeah, that's what Bray Wyatt said. Even Strowman was doing the clapping. That was weird. That happened. So apparently we get a New Day Wyatt feud. If we all thinking to ourselves, who could end the reign of the New Day? And guess what? Like, you cannot even fathom who, because New Day's so over. But guess what? Speaking of guys who deserve breaks after bad booking, you know, Abel's been through a lot of bad, shitty booking the last couple years, in the last couple months, and he finally won a championship. I think it's why it's time to be champions. I think they're the ones that's going to end New Day's reign. You know, after all the shit they've been through, all the bad booking and missed timings and being just foils and feuds and not winning big matches, this should be the opportunity Wyatt can finally get to become champions. And I'll be damn surprised and smiling if they do it. So there you go. Now, I mentioned our main event was Rollins Reigns 2, a rematch from Money in the Bank. Where another match is a rematch from Money in the Bank, a non-title one. Rusev against Titus O'Neil. Titus won revenge after losing to Rusev. And it was kind of weird the timing of that match cup because it was like the PV ran over. And it was during the last 2 minutes of the NBA Championship final game. You know, game 7. And it was just a brawl. It'll be no contest because Titus O'Neil was angry not just after losing, but also after the match when Rusev talked smack to his kids, calling their dad a loser and all that stuff to their faces because they were at ringside. And Titus was not happy with it. He beat the crap out of Rusev outside the ring. They brawled a little. Ended up being a no contest. Referee just threw it out because they fought all over the crowd. So we're going to see a rematch between these two guys and hopefully get better stuff because they had unfortunate timing. Pay-per-view was running over and they were going up against the last 2 minutes of Game 7. So the match was just boring. Maybe more effort could be better, but they need to make Rusev look like badass like he did. But O'Neil won an revenge and make him more legit instead of just a foil to Rusev. So we'll see what happens there. On to the main event, as I mentioned. Dean Ambrose was at ringside, on commentary, and watching the main event between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to determine who would face off against Dean Ambrose at Battleground. And the match was kind of good, as like a little bit better than the match last time, but not as good. Especially if you didn't see that pedigree counter that set that all that suplex power slam thing that he did last night too. And of course, Reigns, I've been saying the Super Reigns thing. You know, man's faster than Rey Mysterio, more powerful than a Big Show, able to bury careers in a single bound. And I couldn't think of a thing to put in between able to bury careers in a single bound and super Waynes. But watching this match, I added, as you heard earlier in the video, the man who can't sell a bump the man who can't sell a bump if his life depended on it, and he took bumps and he couldn't fucking sell them. That's why he sucks so bad. He can't fucking sell shit. When he gets knocked down, and I've seen various examples of this. During the match, I think against him and Ambrose and Lesnar at Fastlane, Wayne's got like 10 chair shots. He didn't sell any one of those shots. He didn't sell any of those. That's why, like I said, he's the man who can't sell a bump if his life depends on it. And the funny was, and he carried the match again like the match Sunday. And then he brawled on the outside. And I was like, please don't let us be a double count out. And after Rollins missed they went back, they brought it outside for a bit, then they brought it back inside. And Rollins missed a frog splash, and then he went for another big move and got caught in midair with a Superman punch. And the brawl on the outside continued. And they brought by the Spanish announce table, which for some reason the Spanish announce table was at Raw tonight. And they brought outside, and Seth got speared by Waynes over the table. And I was like, shit, don't let us be a double count out. And it was a double count out. And this was the setup for the match that should have been at SummerSlam. The triple threat match. Like I said, we knew the triple threat was going to happen between Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose. I said in my review last night, they better save it for SummerSlam. They better save this triple threat for SummerSlam. They should not waste it on a C-list pay-per-view like Battleground. I know they're trying to rev up Battleground. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to make Battleground make it better than just a C-list pay-per-view. You know, they had Reigns and Rollins against Lesnar last year at SummerSlam, at the Battleground. And then, of course, was spoiled by the return of Undertaker with a non-conclusive ending. And as I thought to myself, after they made this match that should have been a SummerSlam main event for the Battleground main event, I said, the only way to be a screwy ending is if someone returns and attacks everybody. But we don't want like what happened last year when Taker came out during the Rollins Lesnar match. Because they can't be because in triple threat matches, there's no DQs and no countouts. So we can't have a screwy ending to suffice a rematch at SummerSlam. So there you go. A SummerSlam main event is being wasted at Battleground. Or some would say this match should have been a WrestleMania main event being wasted at Battleground. So there you go. There isn't any other really good SummerSlam main event to make up for this. They can't have these three wrestle triple threat twice. So we'll see what happens as it fights this. That now a SummerSlam main event worthy of that, or at least WrestleMania, being wasted on a C-list pay-per-view. Battleground. Like, as an owner trying to make a reputation out of that Battleground, make it not known for being a shitty-ass pay-per-view. Trying to make it a more legit pay-per-view, but come on. You guys know that SummerSlam win all over it. And after Shane came out to announce that, after the double count-out, that's when Dean was like, I'll fight them both. And that's when the triple threat was made. He laid out Reigns with a Dirty Deeds, but Rollins didn't get leave out. He got nailed by Ambrose with the belt. With Ambrose left standing as the end wall. And he nailed Rollins with Dirty Deeds as well. Like, both guys get laid out with Dirty Deeds. So there you go. See what happens with these three as we head towards Battleground. And, of course, the split coming up. With, of course, the draft on July 19th. No conclusive GMs yet for both brands. Could be Seth and Shane, but none's really definitive yet. They're adding everything as it goes. So there you go. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Yeah, too sweet.